Hello, I'm Monica Gallagher and I'm back with another installment of the ABCs of American Cryptids. I think last time I said the ABCs of the Cryptids of America, which was super clunky, but you know, we're learning, we're living, we're growing, and we're moving along. Now, for those of you here for the first time, which wouldn't be surprising because this is only my second video, this is a series of videos where we go through all of the American cryptids in alphabetical order and I tell you a story while I draw the cryptid itself. It's a fun way for us to share some stories and tap into the very rich folklore of this country. Now, these videos are meant to be a tantalizing peek into the life of a cryptid and to inspire you to investigate further. For those of you here for the first time, this is a series of videos where we go through all of the American cryptids in alphabetical order and I tell you a story as I draw the cryptid itself. It's a fun way for us to all share stories about creatures and tap into the super rich folklore of this country. Now, these videos are meant to be a tantalizing peek into the life of a particular cryptid and to inspire you to hopefully research it further on your own. Now, the last time that I saw you guys, even though I'm in a room talking about myself, we discussed the adlet, which was a werewolf that hailed from Alaska, but also ended up having a lot of ties to Inuit folklore that came from all over the Great North. So it was a surprisingly vast cryptid, even though I claimed it was from Alaska, because Alaska claims it. Now today we're moving to the opposite ends of the American coast to discuss the Agropelter. So let's begin. The Agropelter is a wily forest assassin who lives in the conifer woods of North America. Its territory extends all the way coast to coast, from Maine to Washington, and this critter has been terrorizing lumberjacks for over 100 years now. The Agropelter prefers meals consisting of woodpeckers and hoot owls, and is often blamed for the disappearance of either in a wooded glen. So if you're not hearing the knockety-knock of woodpeckers that much anymore, you can now blame the Agropelter. Side note, one of my favorite nerdy hobbies of late is to turn on the Merlin bird app on my phone and record local bird sounds. And I was thrilled that apparently in my neighborhood we have 3 different types of woodpeckers. So maybe Austin, which is where I live, is a respite from all the Agropelters since Texas is smack in the middle of America in between the 2 coasts. Maybe that's why we have so many woodpeckers. I don't know. It's a theory. Okay, continuing on. Consisting of a slight, slender body and super long arms, the Agropelter is described as having black fur all over except for its bare, ape-like face. Its babies are only ever born on February 29th in the years of leap and arrive in odd-numbered litters. Why they know this, I don't know. The Agropelter has been accused of stealing a human child every now and then, but I don't really think it likes snacking on them as much. Its main hobby, like where the Agropelter truly shines, is in its relentless physical attack on loggers, aka lumberjacks, the people working on the trees and cutting down the trees. The Agropelter uses its long noodle arms to scamper up high into the treetops and spy on interlopers below. Then, by whipping its arms into a furious windmill of fur, the Agropelter breaks off branches at lightning speed, hurling chunks and splinters at loggers with ferocious accuracy. It was said that the pelting of the wood chips was done with such force and accuracy that it struck men like bullets from a rifle. I feel that on my chest. Also, these crafty bastards are not at all limited in their choice of bullet material. They could go their standard wood, or they could broaden their horizon into acorns, pine cones, birds' nests. All are fair game when it comes to the Agropelter arsenal. And yes, even those bird nests, when they're coming straight at your head with enormous speed, would probably still hurt, even though that sounds like the least damaging of their bullet of choice. I don't want to get hit in the head with a bird's nest anytime soon. Do you guys remember that story of that rogue owl in Portland that was snatching some people's hats off when they were jogging in the park? Because that's what this reminds me of. Because the owl was just like offended by accessories and decided to be petty about it by either knocking people's heads off or, unfortunately, in the terrorizing instances when they weren't wearing a hat, he would just kind of tear out chunks of hair, which is rude. But the Agropelter, on the other hand, is just offended by your very existence up in its face. Hat or no hat. Agropelter was also blamed anytime a branch or a tree fell and killed a man. So really he was using all the weapons in his tree arsenal, ranging from bullets to just knocking over trees, taking him out that way. I kind of feel like the loggers should have just hired him. I mean, if he's so into dismantling trees, that's pretty much what the loggers are out here doing anyway, so he could probably be a big help. I don't know. Even though he's pretty chaotic about it, but it's something to think about. Future loggers of America. Also, I just realized its name is probably one of the most accurate cryptid names I've ever heard. It's aggro, meaning aggressive, and it pelts the shit out of people with branches. Pelter, Agropelter. Now, in case you think this story is total speculation and logger folklore, because because it is. We have an eyewitness account. Only one survivor on record has managed to survive the vicious wood chipper attack from the Agropelter, and that hero's name is Big Ol' Kittleson. Kittleson claimed the only reason he was able to escape the attack reasonably unscathed was because old Agro picked rotten wood to chuck at him that day, and it did very little damage. Just kind of bust into smoke on his head. That seems like a wild miscalculation on part of the Agropelter. I almost said agriculture. But hey, even the most aggressive cryptids among us make mistakes some days. And I mean, one loss out of the hundreds of loggers he probably nailed. That's pretty good odds. Now, Big Ol' Kittleson might have been the only attack survivor, but there was also an account of a pioneer surveyor who was kidnapped by the Agropelter, and that brave soul, he only managed to escape by fending it off with what else? Raw fish. So old Aggie apparently has an appetite for sushi. And that makes sense. As a bi-coastal lad, you know, he appreciates this fresh seafood. So that wraps up our story of the Agropelter, the furry forest menace that sends fear into the hearts of lumberjacks everywhere. So if you're out in the woods and you notice a suspicious lack of woodpecker noises, it might be best to put on a helmet to protect the old noggin from, you know, random wood bullets coming at it with frightening speed. And definitely carry raw fish with you at all times, because that seems to be the ticket. I hope you all liked our second video in the series, the ABCs of American Cryptids. See, we're already getting it down. Feel free to leave a comment or report back if you yourself have seen an Agropelter and you see the windmill in arms in action. And I'll be back with the next cryptid on our list as we continue moving along through the A's, Aikanaka, which hails from the beautiful island state of Hawaii. See you all then, and remember, keep a lookout for those cryptids. They're probably right above you in a tree. Bye! So that wraps up our story of the Agropelter, the furry forest menace that sends fear into the hearts of lumberjacks everywhere. So if you're out in the woods and you notice a suspicious lack of woodpecker noises, it might be best to put on a helmet to protect the old noggin from, you know, random wood bullets coming at it with frightening speed. And definitely carry raw fish with you at all times, because that seems to be the ticket. I hope you all liked our second video in the series, the ABCs of American Cryptids. See, we're already getting it down. Feel free to leave a comment or report back if you yourself have seen an Agropelter and you see the windmill in arms in action. And I'll be back with the next cryptid on our list as we continue moving along through the A's, Aikanaka, which hails from the beautiful island state of Hawaii. See you all then, and remember, keep a lookout for those cryptids. They're probably right above you in a tree. Bye!